Hi everyone. Well, my name is Jorge Serna. In this opportunity, I'm going to explain this product modeling, referring to web and mobile application in this industry in edtech. Okay, so I'm going to start. Okay, so first, the challenge is easy to understand. It's just creating a web and mobile application for teachers and students. So, how to study remotely and some normal features that they are going to find in any platform or student. So, this is the challenge, but I think that the important part here is just how to create a learning management system, and that's the idea how to develop that, and I'm going to explain in the next slides. Okay. So, how to tackle the challenge? Well, here the important part is we'll define some steps. Okay, so for example, in the first step is the ideation. I love this part of the process in my role as a product manager. So, what problem we are going to solve? Maybe with the main idea, you say, well, you need to create a platform and it's for teachers, it's for students, but it's not just that. You need to ideate, you need to validate some ideas, and, and for that reason, you are going to use this tool, the market research, and it's just to know the real problems that the students has, the problem, the that the teachers maybe they need some help in this kind of platforms. Maybe you are going to create a great platform. So the idea is not just go to create a platform, is um, respond any problem and try to resolve the problem. So the first step is just what is the problem? What is the real problem that right now maybe students, teachers, or maybe institutions they have? So the idea is that, and you're going to use this tool is the market research. Okay. So the second step is the planning. Uh, you have the ideation. You have some information uh, that the market research um, provides you, and now you're going to planning. You are going to define the target. You are going to create a backlog. You are going to create some features or important features. You are going to prioritize, and so in this part you're going to do that. Okay, so and even you're going to define a high level architecture and a budget, some resources too. Um, in the third step, what you are going to execute. I love agile development, so I think it's the best way to execute the challenge. And in this part, you're going to create some prototypes. You're going to receive some important feedback. Is it is good? This prototype is not good. So in this part of the process is awesome because you are going to receive a feedback from the stakeholders. Okay, and you are going to define a marketing strategy too. So this is the third step, but there is another step, is the monitor and refinement, because you need to continuously validate if the product that you launch is good, so or not, and for that reason you are going to gather in feedback, and you are going to refine the product. If you need to refine the product in this part of the process, you are going to identify that part at least. Okay, so this is how to tackle a challenge in a high level. So, but the first steps is go focus to the market research process. So as I mentioned before, I love this part of the process. So um, you need to identify the problem. So what is the problem that you are going to solve? So, well, there are so many tools. Go to interviews people, or maybe some surveys. So in this part, it's important to go to talk with the person, to just go to identify insights that they are going to explain, what kind of platform or what kind of problem you need to solve. Okay, so with that, you are going to define the problem. Uh, you, you have all the information that you need. You gather all the information. Now you can define the problem. So the problem is this. The problem maybe is just that the students um, don't like to study alone. Well, the platform has a feature that engage with another students. So that kind of stuff. Okay. So the idea is just define the problem is in this part. Okay, at the same time, well, establish objectives. I think smart objectives is great in this part of the process. So an objective specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound too. Okay, you are going to do the design research, define if quality or quantitative research. You are going to gather so many data. So it's great to identify that in that part of the process. But at the same time, in this part, the point 5, we're going to implement the research. Okay, so well, collect data from the appropriate respondents. Okay, so that's the idea. And in this point 6, analyze the data. Okay, so you need to well, recover all the information and just to stay focused and analyze what you are going to do with all the information. So how to analyze that, analyze the data, how to transform the data into actionable insights. That's the idea here. So what are you going to do with that, with all the information? And then, well, create just a normal report and how to present the research that you find to the stakeholders. Okay, this report is for what kind of stakeholders, so you need to define that. Okay, and also something important that I put here is just break down suppositions. So maybe you think that it's easy to create this kind of platform because maybe right now you are going, you are studying in one, maybe I don't know, Duolingo or Udemy, that this kind of platform. Maybe you are using this kind of platform and you know, or you think that you know how to develop that, but you need to define the problem, how I mentioned before. So the idea is just break down suppositions and start from the scratch and create a great product and resolve the problem. It's just that. Okay, so first steps, market research process. Well, as I mentioned before, identified the problem, but what kind of questions that we need to do? Well, what features are required in learning management systems? Okay, how many students or employees are you going to train? How will the progress of the students employees be measured? So it's essential identify these high-level questions. Okay, so to define or identify the problem. So just ask these kind of questions. Maybe I know that there are so many questions more, but this is the main questions. And for teachers, for example, well, what are the biggest challenge you face when creating and delivering courses? So it's just ask the teachers and 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 ask, well, why is the biggest challenge? How do you currently engage with students and track their progress? and maybe you have some problem, you are wasting so much time in that platform. Well, you need to create a great platform for teachers, um, and easy to use. Okay, so for example, in this case for students, well, what are your biggest challenges when studying remotely? um, and the idea is identify that and ask again, maybe with an interview. I love interview people and ask what is the real problem. For example, how do you currently track your progress and communicate with teachers? Maybe with chat, maybe with a video call. I don't know what is the best way that right now maybe students want to communicate with teachers. For example, what features would you like to see in a digital platform for taking courses and tracking progress? Well, maybe this is a question that we can modify. Is so open, so maybe you can create another question. For example, the last one: how important is for you to be able to communicate with other students and share insights and idea? Um, well, that kind of questions. And for example, for educational institutions, what are your biggest challenges when delivering courses and tracking student progress? How do you currently manage and monitor the courses being offered? Um, so maybe people don't focus on the educational institution, so it's important to recognize this other actor that I was investigating in this field, tech. So you need to stay focused in this with this actor. So for example, how important is for you to have access to student data and analytics? So you don't know what these educational institutions do with the data, or maybe they have some problem collecting the data. So you need to well, identify problems with educational institutions. Um, well, but if you don't have the way to identify um, what the teachers think about it, well, there are. I was investigating. There is a great platform, Thinker It, is how to go or obtain feedback for teachers, okay, on demand. So I think it's a great way to identify these insights or these problems that the teacher have. So maybe this is a great way to obtain the information, okay, because I was reading that it's not easy to identify feedback from teachers. They don't have so much time, so maybe you have to pay for that, okay. Well, related to the business model, um, well, I think that there are three main business models: is support type, platform type, and integrated type. Well, the first one is just that we are behind the um, uh, behind the scenes. Okay, so there is an educational institution that provide maybe the look and feel, and there are so many learners in the other part. Okay, so they pay to the educational institution, and the educational institution pay some fee for the edtech company, in this case with the product that we are developing. Okay, so this is the first business model, support type. You don't know if right now we are going to define this is the best way to work. This is the first option. Okay, well, the second option is the platform type. And well, in this case, well, people really know the edtech company or the product that we want to launch, and we provide the space or the platform for educational institutions or teachers, and at the same time for students or learners. Okay, so um, they pay for example, in this case, uh, the edtech company will receive the money for the students, and we pay some fee for educational institution or teachers or tutors. Okay, and the third one is the integrated type. Well, in this case, um, it's just the platform provide some service to the learners or maybe companies, employees, and they will give some fee. In this case, well, some money to the product is a really easy business model. Okay, so this is all related to business model. So we need to provide what is the best option in this model. Well, team structure. Well, this is the team structure, okay? For example, in this case, where you are going to find the researchers, the UX or UI designer, the full stack team, and the marketing associate, okay? So the first part of the team, the researchers, where they conduct user research. And with that, well, you are going to identify pain points, okay? That's great. I love this part of the process. But there is a reason. It's just because in this part, as a product manager, you are going to define and prioritize with all the information that the researchers collected. Okay, so it's great part of the process just to how to identify well the real problem. Okay, so it's just that. Um, well, for example, once you define and prioritize all user experience or user interface, they can create some wireframes or prototypes. Well, they help you to visualize the product, and it's a great way to identify some first problems or first opportunities to improve the product. And with that information, so the development team, they can start to develop the product, okay? And they are going to define some integrations on APIs, and as a product manager, we are going to ask what is the best way to integrate this platform. And yeah, it's just that. And the last one, the marketing associate, they are going to launch the product, okay, and engage with potential users. So as a product manager here, you have to talk with the marketing associate and identify or communicate the way that you want to well, communicate your product or your idea. What is the idea that you want to transmit to these potential users? Okay. Okay. So let's team members by process and relationship. So in this part, related to ideation and requirements gathering, what is the way that relationship? I think is collaborative relationship. You have to working closely uh, with the user researchers, asking what is the data, what the information they are they found in the research. For example, in this case, the business model development, you need to establish a consultative relationship. So you need to ask, maybe find some problems with money and with the budget. So it's just consultative. What is the best way to present maybe the business case? Okay. So on the other one, the third one, the product design is establish a supportive relation. So in this case, you work with the user experience, you transmit the idea, maybe you create some mockups, or some prototypes, and share the information to the user experience. So it's great to work in this part of the process. Just create some features once you receive all the information from the user researchers. The other part is the product development. So in this case, the relationship is establish a direct relationship with the full stack. I think is the best way. So you need to, for example, assuring that they are on track to deliver the product. So in this part of the process, as a product manager or maybe as a product owner, depends of the role that you are developing, you need uh, to stay focused on what is the features that you prioritize, okay, and talk with the product development, or at least with the lead. And the product launch will establish a collaborative relation, okay, so in this case it's more collaborative relationship with the marketing associate, okay. So we need to work with them to create a marketing plan. So what is the idea that you want to transmit to your user at the end, okay. So roles that should be brought to the team. Okay, so well, there are another roles. For example, in this case, um, I love work with this role, with the Scrum Master. I think it's important in the agile process, because it's the way to organize the team. The other important part of the team is the architect. So you need to stay at least the first at the beginning of the process. You need to ask a lot of questions to the architect. So I think it's important how they define the platform, and at the same time the DevOps engineer, yeah, to manage the deployment and operation of the product in a live environment. I think is important. The data analyst, I think is necessary. Is just because you are going to need some more information to uh, uh, improving your product, okay, and a quality assurance engineer, because you need to test your product all the time, or at least in the beginning, okay, at the beginning. And maybe you need to consider if your team they don't have all the capacity, so you need to outsource in a vendor if you consider is necessary, okay. So, well, a roadmap. Um, this is a roadmap that I define with an MVP, with 4 sprints. Okay, so for example, in this first part, you need to gather the information. You need to create the business model. For example, in this case, the sprint one, you start to create some features related to configurations, grading system, notifications alert, creating notes. And in this part, for example, here, the sprint 2, the product design, they can create some prototypes, some mockups. Okay, they can create in this part in the sprint 2. And the team can create another user stories, for example, online libraries and creating courses. And then the development team, they can start to develop all these features. Okay, so I consider that in the sprint 4 you have a good MVP. But then with the sprint 5, 6, or 7, you are going to develop the other part of the features, okay. So related to task prioritization and meeting deadlines. For example, in this case, well, what is the best way to prioritize? What is the best way to develop the meetings. So I put these steps. For example, identify the key objectives. I think it's important before starting any task is just define what is the key objective here. Okay, so for example, break down the project into smaller tasks. Sometimes you are going to find so many tasks, so you need to break down and stay calm, stay focused. Okay, so prioritize. So define well the tasks that are high impact and high urgency. Use a task management tool. For example, here you need to work, I don't know, maybe with DevOps, where with Jira. Well, you need to share the same board with the team. You don't need to, for example, here you don't need to work in so many spreads in Excel. So just one board. Regular check-ins and status updates. Okay, so everyone, you need to stay focused that everyone is on track. Okay, and everyone is making progress toward our goals. Okay, the goals that you define at the beginning of the project. And then, well, you need to adjust, well, the roadmap as needed. Well, the roadmap is a living document. Okay, so this is really crucial because the roadmap is not it's not a document that you define just one time. You need to define at least 2 or 3 times, depends of the stakeholders. Okay, so you need to stay changing, well, not changing so much, but depends what is important, what is urgent. So for that reason, I said that it's a living document. So leading people and creating cohesion and alignment. So in this part of the process, you need to communicate the project, vision, and goals. Well, the idea here is how to leading people and creating cohesion and alignment. So how to work happy with your team is just that. So communicate the project visions and goals. You need to share your feelings, share with your team what the client needs. Okay, so I love that part of the process, just talking with my team and express my ideas, the feeling that the client, the pain that the client mentioned before. So I need to explain that and transmit that to my team. Foster a positive and inclusive work environment. So I'm a positive person, so I think that every project time to time goes down, so you need to foster a positive and inclusive work environment. Okay, so encourage collaboration and teamwork. I think is important in this part of the process. For example, encourage your team and transmit that. Okay, and help maybe if you don't need you don't have to do any activity, it's not your role, maybe you can transmit that or help to your partner. Provide regular training and development opportunities. um, Time to time you need to uh, provide some training to your team, so explain new things to the, for example, to the market, to the data that maybe the market with the tool, the market research we found. So you need to stay or providing some information to your team and encourage accountability. Okay, that's important. And with this agile methodology, I think that the team needs that. And at the same time, we'll consider remote work dynamics. Well, is fundamental. Just stay on with the camera time to time, and stay close with your team with this environment post pandemic. Okay. So, and the last one, well, how to overcome the roadblocks. So, for example, with operational roadblocks, maybe issues with the team, coordination, communication, or workflow, where you need to clear roles and responsibilities. I think is important in this part of the process. Related to financial roadblocks, for example, constraints with financial constraints, kind of an impact the development of a product. So in this part of the roadblock, you need to monitor the budget and make adjustments. This is necessary, okay? With the technological roadblocks, for example, maybe some issues with technology, maybe infrastructure, maybe compatibility or scalability. Well, you need to stay informed of the latest technology advancements, okay? Trends, and stay close to your uh, to your developers. I think is important in this part of the process. And and the other one, I put this one, for example, dynamic environment. Um, you don't know if um, for instance, the government changed the law related to the education, so you need to stay informed and you need to talk with the clients again, or talk with your customers, with teachers, with the institutions. So for that reason, you need to stay dynamic, to stay informed with this dynamic environment. Okay. So thank you so much. Okay. So, well, this is Jorge Serna. Okay. Bye bye.